Hi everybody, it's Beatle Dave, your friendly neighbourhood record collector, calling to you from Derby in the UK. I hope everybody's well and keeping safe. I thought for today's video we'd do something slightly different, but first of all I'd just like to thank everybody that is subscribing and supporting me and leaving me comments and leaving me likes. It does mean the world to me. I am still only a small channel, but we are starting to get a little bit bigger. So to everybody that has subscribed and supports me and everything, thank you very much, and I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. That is very sincere. Like I say, today we are going to do something a little bit different. Basically, I was thinking about Beatles live albums and the solo Beatles live albums that we've got officially. So there's no bootlegs or unofficial recordings in this. Everything I'm going to show you has been sanctioned by the Beatles or the Beatles management or Apple or EMI or Capitol or whoever it is at the time. This is not a complete list, by the way. I haven't got every live album that the Beatles have released or John, Paul, George and Ringo have released, but just thinking about that, I've got another one that I've just remembered about. So if you just bear with us 1 second. Strange, I was just doing this and then I thought, oh, I forgot one. So we're going to start off, it's in no particular order, but I'm going to try and do them either as they was recorded or as they was released or whatever. Probably is more in chronological order, but if I make some mistakes along the way, which I'm sure I'm going to do, you just have to forgive me. So like I say, it's not in any particular order, it's just what's available, and most of these you can still get in the shops and at record fairs and things like that. Like I say, everything is an original pressing, i.e. it's not a bootleg or a counterfeit or unofficial release. If I did them, we would have had a lot more Beatles stuff in it. So we'll start off with the Beatles one, which is actually the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. Now this is actually 2 concerts. It's not just one concert, it's actually snippets of 2 concerts. One from 1964 and one from 1965. Just excuse me while I put my granddad's specs on. If you live in the UK or you live outside the UK, depending on where you live, today is actually a bank holiday in the UK, so we've got an extra day off. So like I say, yeah, this is 2 concerts edited together to make one concert. One was recorded in August 1964 and the other was recorded in August the 30th 1965. This came out in 1977, and I haven't included the Star Club tapes and all that lot because they are like semi-official, aren't they? So this was like the first time that Beatles collectors had officially got a Beatles live album, although by this time they'd been split up for 7 years, and the songs were 12 or 13 years old, weren't they? But you do get some good songs, and they are, you get Twist and Shout, She's a Woman, Dismiss Lizzie, Ticket to Ride, Can't Buy Me Love, Things We Said Today, Roll Over Beethoven, Side 2, Boys, A Hard Day's Night, Help, All My Loving, She Loves You, and Long Tall Sally. I'm sure you've all got copies of this or you've all seen it. This is a UK copy, EMTV4. You did get some liner notes by George Martin. It was originally going to be released in America in 1964 from what I can make out, but because they had a few technical problems, it was shelved, and then they tried again in 1965 and it was rejected. I don't know if it was by George Martin or Brian Epstein or the Beatles themselves, but like I say, when this came out, this was actually the first time most Beatles fans had ever heard the Beatles live officially, unless they'd been lucky enough to go to concerts in the early 60s and stuff like that. It is what it is. The sound quality is okay for when you think it was recorded. It's not the best live album by any means of the imagination whatsoever, but it is a nice album to have in your collection, and this one is actually in really, really nice condition as well. So we've looked at that one. The next one is one by John Lennon. Very ironic or iconic album cover. No name or title on it whatsoever, just a blue sky and a little cloud there. And it's the Plastic Ono Band live piece in Toronto 1969, although I think this was released in 1970 if I remember rightly. Officially when this album was recorded, John was still a member of the Beatles, although it said to Paul, George and Ringo that he wanted out, sort of thing. It was the first ever live incarnation of the Plastic Ono Band, and the rumour has it that they rehearsed on the plane over to Canada. So it's John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Eric Clapton, Klaus Voormann and Alan White. Side 1 is basically rock and roll songs, or what you class as rock and roll songs. So you got Blue Suede Shoes, Money, Dizzy Miss Lizzie, Yard Blues, Cold Turkey and Give Peace a Chance. Now the best song for me on that is Dizzy Miss Lizzie. And Blue Suede Shoes and Money are also okay. John's in good voice. Side 2 is Yoko Ono. So if you've got this album, about 99% of you have hardly ever played the B-side. I'll admit I've played the B-side a couple of times. I played the A-side hundreds of times. Recording wise, it's not too bad. You know, it's probably one of those that could do with being slightly remixed or remastered. The instrumentation and everything is actually quite good, but you've got to remember this was a live recording of a band that practically had never ever played together. But it is a very, very good live album. Well, the A-side is. I'll leave the B-side up to you whether you like the B-side or not, or side 2. Like I say, I've played it before, but it is, for saying there's only 2 songs on it, it is quite a long side to listen to, and you know, in all the best wishes in the world, you know, this would have been better just being John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band live and Yoko just doing her little bits in the background, sort of thing. But that's just in my opinion, you know. This is one that I think you must have this in your collection, though. That is one that, you know, I really do think is a cracking little album, live album by John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band with Yoko Ono, Eric Clapton, Klaus Voormann and Alan White. Now this next one I didn't know whether to include or not, because technically it's not a solo or a Beatles project, although, you know, George organised it all and plays on most of the songs and got the credit for it in a lot of ways. Ringo's on it. Paul and John were supposed to be on it, but like chickened out at the last minute. Members of Badfinger on it. Billy Preston's on it. Who else is on it? Bob Dylan's on it. And it's the concert for Bangladesh. Again, this is an original UK pressing. I think the actual concert was in 1971 at Madison Square Gardens, but this came out in 1972. He did raise a hell of a lot of money for, obviously, Bangladesh. You know, it was like the first sort of like forerunner to like Live Aid and Band Aid and all that sort of thing. A hell of a lot of money was raised, but a hell of a lot of money was paid in taxes as well, apparently. Some cracking versions of songs on here. George does a brilliant version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps on this as well. And even Mingo does It Don't Come Easy. There's some other songs on it as well. It's a triple album. Again, a really, really good album. Very, very overlooked, in my opinion, in the Beatles canon, this. Yes, it's a live recording, but it is actually a really, really nice sounding record. And you know, I don't think there was any overdubs or anything done on this. Could be wrong, they might have done, I don't know. But yeah, fantastic album. Again, one that you should have in your Beatles collection, in my opinion. Next up, we've got another John Lennon one. I've put this here, although this was released many, many years later. This was actually recorded a year after the concerts for Bangladesh, and it was also in Madison Square Garden. Although this wasn't released till, I think, 1986. few years after John had died. That is actually all raised there. Cracking photo of John on the front. And this time it is a really, really nice recording. So you get New York City, It's So Hard, Woman Is the of the World, Well, 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 Instant Karma, Mother, Come Together, Imagine, Cold Turkey, Hound Dog, and Give Peace a Chance. Now, Give Peace a Chance is only really like a snippet right at the end. John, Yoko, and basically the Elephant's Memory Band. A really, really, really nice sounding album. Although I seem to remember when this came out, there was some sort of controversy because one of the members of the Elephant's Memory Band said that his keyboard had been lowered down and Yoko had redone hers or something like that. I don't know how true it is. A great rock show basically from John Lennon. You know, he didn't really do many live things, did he, after leaving the Beatles? Although, you know, he was the first one to get a live album out, sort of thing. But yeah, great album. Do you need it in your collection? Well, I'd say you do. I'm not ranking these or anything. That, you know, these are just my own personal opinions. Yes, I do think this is a really, really nice album. Maybe it has got a little bit of overdubs on it. I don't know, but John wouldn't have had anything to do with that, would he? Because by the time this came out, you know, he'd been passed away for 6 years, hadn't he? So, good album though. It is a really, really good album. This next one doesn't really need any introduction. It's probably the most well-known live album by a member of the Beatles, although technically it's not a solo live album because it's Wings Over America, triple LP. It's basically the greatest hits of Paul McCartney and Wings live up to this point. You get Venus and Mars, you get Jet, you get Rock Show, Let Me Roll It, Medicine Jar, Maybe I'm Amazed, Call Me Back Again, Lady Madonna, The Long and Winding Road, Live and Let Die, Picasso's Last Words, Birthday, I've Just Seen a Face, Let 'Em In, Time to Hide, Silly Love Songs, Beware My Love, Letting Go, Band on the Run, Hi Hi Hi, and Solid. That's not all the songs, by the way, there's a few more on there. And this is a really, really exceedingly good live album. Not as good as Mr. Kipling's Exceedingly Good Cakes, but it is a really, really good album, and it is one that if you're a Beatles fan or a Wings fan or a Paul McCartney fan, you should have a copy of this. And to be honest, you can get this in second-hand shops for next to nothing. You know, usually under a tenner. It was re-released a few years ago, wasn't it? And that went for quite a lot of money, but to be honest, I don't think it sounds any different to this. And again, there probably has been things overdubbed on it afterwards, I don't know. It was recorded basically in 1976 after the success of Venus and Mars, and Wings at the Speed of Sound albums had been released, so this was actually recorded in 1976, and I think it came out at the end of 1976, if I remember rightly. Or it might have come out in 1977. I don't know because I was only a kid when this came out. But this is one of those that I've got 3 different copies of, and they're all slightly different. Not with the content, just slightly different record labels. Some say MPL and EMI and Capitol and things like that, you know. So yeah, cracking album though. Really is a cracking album. One you should look out for, and one that if you haven't got, definitely get, because this is probably the cheapest out of the lot of these, to be honest. Next up, we've got good old Ringo. I'm probably thinking, well, Ringo's never done a live album, but he has. Ringo Starr and his all-star band. Live at the Palace Theatre, isn't it, or something? Let's have a look. To say it's somewhere... Sorry, live at the Greek Theatre in Los Angeles. Obviously done in the 90s. I can't remember when it was done, late 80s, early 90s. And like the Plastic Ono band, Ringo's all-star band has ever change in lineup with Ringo being the only consistent member. So I know you've got Dr. John, you've got Billy Preston, you've got Rick Danko, Joe Walsh, Clarence Clemens, Jim Keltner, who'd played with John and George, hadn't he? Levin Helm, never heard of him, and Niels Lofgren. And the nice thing about this was, although it was mainly Ringo that people went to see, a lot of the other members of the band did get, you know, their chance to sing a song. So you've got It Don't Come Easy, you've got the No No song, Iko Iko, The Weight, Shine Silently, Honey Don't, You're 16, You're Beautiful and You're Mine, Quarter to Three, Raining in My Heart, Will It Go Round in Circles, Life in the Fast Lane, and Photograph. And this is actually on an EMI label. I mean, just say EMI. I don't know what it came out in America. That's the track listing, folks. And it is actually quite a nice album. You know, a good live album from Ringo and his band. Quite hard to get in the UK, this is. And I think there's a slightly different version of this, although it's the same contents, with like a white sleeve or a cream sleeve. I mean, when you think of all the times Ringo has played live, especially now, it's amazing there's not more live albums out from Ringo. There probably is, like I said. I haven't got every live album that members of the Beatles have released officially. I thought I'd got Tripping the Light Fantastic, but I can't find it. I know I've got it on CD, but I didn't want to, you know, include things on CD. Then we've got, this is one I've only had a few weeks, to be honest, George Harrison, Live in Japan. Like again, I've got this on CD, never had it on vinyl till a few weeks ago, and I'm ashamed, to be honest, that I never got this when it came out. Fantastic live album. Out of all these, I would probably say this is the best one. Am I being biased? I don't know, probably. It's the one that sounds the freshest in a lot of ways. It's probably the one that's recorded the most professional out of all of them, although this was the last one to be recorded, to be honest. Is backed by his old mate Eric Clapton and the Eric Clapton Band, and the bands are on fine form. Eric's on fine form, George is in fantastic form, his voice is brilliant, his guitar playing is brilliant, the musicianship on the whole on this album is fantastic, and you get some really interesting songs on this. So it kicks off with I Want to Tell You, then Old Brown Shoe, Taxman, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth, and then side one finishes off with If I Needed Someone. This is a 2 disc LP. Side two, you get Something, What Is Life, Dark Horse, Piggies. I mean, where else would you hear George Harrison singing Piggies? You know, really obscure track off the White Album, that isn't it, if you think about it. And then Got My Mind Set on You. Side three is Cloud 9, Here Comes the Sun, My Sweet Lord, All Those Years Ago, and Cheer Down. Fantastic version of Cheer Down on here. And then the last side is Devil's Radio, Isn't It a Pity, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and then it finishes off with Roll Over Beethoven. Great, really lovely album. And I think I'm right in saying that this was actually released just before George died, once it was released in his lifetime, I think. Produced by George and Jeff Lynne under the pseudonyms of Spike and Nelson Wilbury. And yeah, like I say, I think this is the best one out of the lot. Unfortunately, this is the one that probably will cost you the most out of the lot as well. I was quite lucky. I paid £38 for this, but some sellers on eBay want a hell of a lot more than that for this. It was re-released in the recent George Harrison LP box set as well, with all of his other LPs. Like I say, great album, can't fault it. I'm just very, very disappointed in myself that I didn't buy this on vinyl when it originally came out. On it says 2017, but I think that is when the box set came out. I seem to remember this came out in the mid-90s, if I remember rightly. So I think it came out before George died, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, great. Really, really brilliant LP. Really worth every penny, that is. No matter how much you pay for it, as long as it's not like hundreds of pounds, it is a cracking album, and you won't be disappointed. And then we've got Live at the Hollywood Bowl, the Ron Howard film 8 Days a Week, the touring years, the Beatles. So this is basically a rehash of the Hollywood Bowl concert. Running order is virtually the same. The only thing with this is you get 4 bonus tracks right at the end, and those 4 bonus tracks are You Can't Do That, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, and Babies in Black. This was actually produced by Giles Martin, and I think this is slightly remixed as well. Doesn't make it sound any better than the original one, doesn't make it sound any worse. Do you need this in your collection? In all fairness, probably not. And to say this was supposed to be like the forerunner for the film 8 Days a Week, the touring years, you'd have thought they'd have put some live tracks from other concerts on it, as well as just the same old songs from the Hollywood Bowl. Yes, we do get 4 new ones, which had been out on bootlegs for years. Nice to have, don't get me wrong, it is nice to have, and it is it's a nice heavyweight album. The sleeve and everything is really, really nice. But to me, to my ears, most of it just sounds the same as the Hollywood Bowl concert, because basically it is. So there is a few that I've missed out, I know, but like I say, I haven't got a lot of the Paul McCartney live ones that he's done just lately, all over the past 20 or 30 years. See, I could have put the live jam one in from sometime in New York City, but that's not really that good, is it, apart from one song on it? In my opinion, again, everybody's got their own opinion, haven't they, folks? So I hope you've enjoyed my little video. As always, peace, love and happiness to you all. Whatever you're doing, stay safe. If you've liked my video, do me a favour, hit that subscribe button and the like button and the notifications button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe as well. And if you are subscribed, still leave me a like or leave me a comment. The subscriptions are slightly going up, but let's see if we can get a few more, and let's get this channel, out to other people, shall we say. Spread the word. Spread the word. That was on a bootleg Beatles album, wasn't it? Or have you heard the word or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, but we're going off the topic again, aren't we, folks? As we always do on one of my little videos. As you know, I don't take myself that serious. I can do, but it's not me. What you see is what you get. I hope you enjoy it. I love doing my videos. I hope I entertain you, and that's going to be it. So, as always, stay safe. Remember, you are the beating Beatle Dave, and without you, we wouldn't have a channel, basically. So, love to you all, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.